Hey, it's Zero at ReviewZoneHD, bringing you guys just a really quick first impressions of the PlayStation 3 version of Family Guy Back to the Multiverse. I played through a few challenges and the first stage, checked out some of the features on the game. I'm just going to jump right into my first initial thoughts of it. For starters, the graphics and even the gameplay reminds me a lot of the 2008 Simpsons video game. The controls feel good, and surprisingly the aiming is decent. I mean, it's not Call of Duty Black Ops 2 good, but it's up to the task of playing through this game, so I'm happy with how the controls feel. I did crank up the aiming sensitivity from 4 to 7 pretty quickly because it's a little slow when set on default when you first start off. It does have auto aim automatically turned on, and looking into the options, I'm not seeing anywhere to turn that off. After playing for an hour, the only technical issue I ran across was when I first talked to Mort at the beginning of the first stage. It was kind of hard to hear what he was saying, so I turned the max volume for the music and the sound effects down a couple notches, and I think that helped quite a bit because I didn't notice that problem going forward. So that's one issue that you can fix yourself. The game does feature a store that you can unlock new costumes, you can upgrade your characters as well. It's not crazy in depth, but it does give you reasons to play all the modes and go for the collectibles. The opening for the game has the bird is the word. It was a great way to open up the title screen. Once you start the game up, it cuts into the Family Guy theme song and then begins a scene with Brian and Stewie discussing the plot of the game, which I don't want to spoil or give away, but it centers around them traveling through the multiverse. Now in the first stage you can switch between Stewie and Brian. They both have their own abilities, like Stewie can throw a dirty diaper which causes a grenade-like explosion. The one-liners that I've heard so far have been pretty funny. If you like Family Guy, it's hard not to laugh at the comedy humor in the game, even if it is a bit offensive. The game does carry a mature rating, something that you don't see too often in cartoon-like games, but the back of the box lists blood, mature humor, sexual themes, use of drugs, and violence. It does feature a couple local co-op modes that I'll try to test out this week. For the HD output, it does support 1080p, and the current cost of the title on release night was $59.99 in the US. As far as the first stage, I ran through it. It was pretty open, but also a bit linear as well, if that makes any sense. I could freely travel around and explore, but it was a bit limited with the area that I could walk around in, and the two challenges I played in were somewhat small maps as well. Now, I am a huge Family Guy fan. I do own every season on DVD except for the last one, so I'm obviously going to enjoy this game a bit more than someone that may not be a fan of the show, but when I do the review, I'll try to address both sides of who may or may not enjoy the game. Overall, my first impressions are pretty positive. The game seems a bit simple and relies heavily on jokes to keep things entertaining, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. The cutscenes are decent, but not the same quality that you would see out of the show, and as far as if this will be worth a day one purchase or not, I won't really have an answer on that until I spend some more time with the game later this week and do the review. It's too early to make a call on that because I don't know how much content this game's packing and how repetitive it may or may not be. So those are a couple things that I'll be focusing on with the review at the end of the week. I may try to upload some more gameplay over the next couple days, but my main focus will be on Hitman to start off this week. I want to get that review done before I move on to any other games. But this is Zero at ReviewZoneHD, and thanks for stopping by.